as fuck. Why is my shit locked sideways? That's fucking strange. Oh, my phone is stuck sideways. This is weird. I ain't never had this issue. Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. I'm doing it, motherfucker. Whatever. I guess I'm just retarded. Anyway, I was gonna come on here today and give y'all a preview of my next stream, which is going to be Anti-Cosmic Voidism, fully delved into, like 10 hours of it. I'll probably have to take it into a couple streams, maybe 3. But since the fam is currently away at Christian indoctrination camp, I got like another hour and a half before they get back. I figured I'd come on here and give y'all a preview, but I ain't gonna lie, I really don't feel like doing that shit. What up, Vazen? What up, Gnostic Jedi? I might have to restart this shit, bro. Like, my screen is stuck sideways and I don't know what to fucking do about it, and it's the most annoying shit in the world. I ain't never had this issue even once. I turn it sideways, the shit turns sideways. I turn it back, it turns back. This shit just wants to stay sideways, like, for whatever fucking reason. Whatever. Fuck it. Who cares? I don't care. I'm not typing anyway. So I'm on here with absolutely nothing to say today. I should be sleeping, but I'm not doing much of that lately. So here I am. Something just told me, hey, go live. Why not? Say random shit that comes to your random head at random times. So all right. I guess I'll just turn it on and see what comes to mind. Oh, something comes to mind right now. So I was watching a channel. Shout out to you, Vazen, because I think you shared it. I've never seen this man's channel before, called The Black Anarchist, and he's got another one too. The Life Liberator or some shit. I can't remember what it's called, or like the Erasure of Life. I can't remember. But I was watching this man's channel, and he was going over somebody else's video who was speaking against antinatalism. It sounded like some middle class liberal white women, bleeding heart types, you know, want all the babies in the world to be born. And the argument got a little funny. I mean, not really an argument. They made a video. He was reviewing the video. Shout out to him. Go check out his channel. But when they said in the video, they said something along the lines of, you know, antinatalists make the argument that life was imposed on them. So now they think they have the right to impose on others that they shouldn't breed. And then he came back and said, no, antinatalists are voluntarists. And I had to laugh at both of them, to be honest with you. First and foremost, that's a dumb argument. Antinatalists say they had life imposed upon them. So now they think they have the right to impose non-breeding on others. First and foremost, yes. I know a lot of people don't like that because they go right to their moral feelings. But yeah, if you could have life imposed upon you, then that means you can impose the absence of life on others. You were another, right? And it was imposed on you, right? Yeah, so it didn't matter how you felt about it, right? Morals didn't matter then, did they? Which means there is no such thing as a universal standard of morals, correct? Imposition happens all the time, yeah? Our entire world is imposition. You were born through imposition, correct? So why wouldn't antinatalists have the right to impose that? No one has the right to or not to impose anything. People just choose to do what they're going to fucking do. And other people like it, love it, or hate it. Like, that's existence. Like, that's how existence works, whether people like that shit or not. Secondly, when he said antinatalism is voluntaristic, wrong. Antinatalism can be voluntaristic, but it could also be compulsory. It's up to the individual. Antinatalism is exactly what it says, being anti-birth. That's all that means. People, philosophers and all the thinkers love to put their twist and their spin on it based on what they think should be. But what it literally is simply anti-birth. Now, whether you think that should be 100% voluntary or whether you think that should be 100% compulsory or some other percentage between the two is completely and entirely up to you. And I have noticed that most people on the voluntary side, if not all of them, are on that side for their own personal moral reasons. Good for them. Wonderful. You're very nice people. You're good people. Like, like, and I mean that genuinely. You're some of the nicest people out there. And then the people on the other side, like myself, who are about compulsory antinatalism, are about logic. One side is moral, the other side is logical. The moral side is great. You people are wonderful people. You'll never get the job done. It'll never fucking happen. The compulsory side, we're terrible fucking people. Let's just be okay with that. We're terrible at being people. Think about the words I'm using. We're terrible humans. That's terribly immoral to the vast majority of people, right? But would it get the job done? Yes, it would get the job done. If you sterilized 100% of humans, they wouldn't give birth anymore. If you wait for 100% of humans to choose it, it'll never fucking happen. Let's just be fucking real about that. So again, antinatalism isn't automatically voluntaristic. No philosophy is. Human extinctionism. It should be voluntary. Okay, so you think that all humans should kill themselves. Good luck with that. It's never gonna happen. Like you're you're a nice person. You're a nice person, but that's never gonna fucking happen. I think that we should kill all people. You're a terrible, terrible person, but that'll get the job done. That'll get the job done. One of them's trying to get the job done. The other one's trying to be nice. Yeah, it just is what it is. Feel about it how you feel about it, but that's just truth. Gnostic Jedi. I will be on the leading edge of the armies of cosmic justice. Yes. Cosmic retribution. Yes. I'm with you on that. Vazen. You did see this person before, actually. His older channel was the Antinatalist Informant. Oh, okay. Yeah, he sounded familiar. Okay. Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Which I linked 3 months ago or something, but it got deleted. So these be his backup channels, it seems. All right, yeah, check out the Black Anarchist and what's the name of his other channel? He's got two channels. I mean, they seem to be like basically be the same channel, and one's just a backup, but might as well have them both just in case if the other one got deleted. Shit. Another thing, the ad hominem. Oh, you people are just antinatalists because you hate children. Well, that is not true for all of us, but for some of us, it is, but not the main reason. I mean, honestly, I don't know many antinatalists, if any, that hate children. Like, even when people say that, I don't like children. As soon as you get them around children, like, don't get me wrong, there are certain little asshole children that you're not gonna like, but when you put that shit. I don't fucking like kids. But give me a little baby and I'll what's up, little motherfucker, you? Like I'll I'll be right there with his little ass. Like because they're small, cute little creatures. It's I don't fuck with nature, but put a kitten in my hands and I'm gonna pet that little fucker and sneeze the whole time. Even though I think that their entire species should go extinct. Like it's just these are the this is the chaos of being a human. This is the randomness, the fucking the contradiction that it is to be logical and then blend that with your morals and then blend that with your fucking humanity and you get a person like, like especially like antinatalists. So I don't think that most of them dislike kids or anything along those lines, but even if they did, that's besides the fucking point of the argument, you know, like that's a straw man ad hominem. You're just trying to oversimplify it. Oh, they just do it for this one reason. Actually, if you ever watched one of my streams, you ever watched Illicit Mind stream, like we're so complex. Some of us even have kids. Like, like yeah, you want to act like we're all this one homogenous, very simple to understand fucking group of people. It doesn't work that way. And this is why I was bringing up that shit that I was saying earlier about when the Black Anarchist, the antinatalist informant, was kind of debating or going over that, reviewing that video of those two females and the things they were saying. Where I was like, both sides at certain points get. I feel like everybody does this in some form or fashion. They assume that they are all. So those two females assumed that whoever they were talking about, whatever antinatalist they spoke to or whatever information they saw, they just assume that all antinatalists are this. And it makes me laugh. And then when he responded, "No, we are voluntarists," and that made me laugh. I said, like neither of y'all should be speaking for all of anyone. You know, like nobody should, to be honest with you. This is why I always try to be more nuanced when I speak about these things. Like, which individual are we talking about, and what is their particular argument? Are they more focused on the morals of it or the logic of it? Because that is generally how people tend to come to it. Generally, how they tend to come, they come through it through morals, talking about suffering. You know what I'm saying? Do no harm, lower the suffering, if not erase it, but only in a voluntaristic manner. And then there's the people who come to it generally through logic, and the more logical they get about it, the further and further they get to, damn, I think we should just wipe everything out. Because if we wait for choice, no one's going to choose it. If we're waiting for everyone to volunteer, it's never going to fucking happen. So at some point, we're just going to have to like take this upon ourselves in some form or fashion and just do whatever the fuck we can to push it in the direction of everything dying. Because that's the logic of it. Like, if you want humans to go extinct, well, they're never going to fucking choose it. That's for sure. So it just is what it is. So yeah, shout out to you, Basin. Uh, uh, even if it, even if that was one of your major reasons for being antinatalist, so be it. But you shall go beyond that. Exactly. Life abolitionism. That's his other channel. So go check out Black Anarchist and Life Abolitionism. I was listening to him earlier, and something just whispered in my head to go live. Like, so I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna listen to the demons today. Let's just go live. Why not? Fuck else am I doing? Like, I'm just sitting here. I was listening to him. So I woke up. I was laying there doing fucking nothing, just in my mind, you know, as I like to do. Had to piss, so I actually got up. Was like, oh fuck, going back to bed. I'm not sleeping anyway. Uh, I swear, like right now, I just don't believe in sleep or some shit. I don't fucking know. I haven't slept in like the last week, but come downstairs. I'm listening to him. The video he put out yesterday. I left some comments. I'm laughing about a few things. And then I got bored because I'm like, these bitches don't know what they're talking about. The two females that he was like reviewing, I'm like, they have no idea what they're talking about. They're very politically minded. And he's wasting his breath arguing with them, which I mean, I get it. I fully understand it. I get why he's doing it. I get why he's doing it. When people misrepresent you in such a way, you kind of want to get at them. I've done it in the past, but when it comes to something that you yourself are trying to see, I'm not a voluntaristic type of individual when it comes to these solutions because I realize they're never going to work voluntarily. Like they're not even voluntarily, they're not even solutions anymore. They're just personal choices. Let's just be real about that. So when it comes to the solutions, I'm not a voluntarist. When it comes to just being human on planet Earth, sure, absolutely. I'm a fucking anarchist, bro. Voluntary everything. But understand that within anarchy, anything could fucking happen. You better be willing to defend yourself, all that good stuff. So even within the voluntarism, it's not about moralism. It's not about everyone loves everyone because that's just not fucking realistic. Anarcho-communism would be fucking utopia on Earth, but it's not real. Like it'll never be real. Humans aren't that type of species. And if you want them to be, you're asking for the Borg. So be careful what you wish for. And I'd prefer to have a fucked up retard species than the Borg, to be honest with you. I'd rather have rapes, murders, pillages, and plundering than the Borg. That's just my fucking choice. I'd prefer to have none of it, which would also be requiring compulsory actions by many people across the planet. Because none of that shit would happen voluntarily. It just is what it is. It is what the fuck it is. So I don't even know how I was going into that, but we need to think about these things when we talk about, are you a voluntarist? Are you compulsory when it comes to specific philosophies? Because how bad do you actually want to get this shit done? Like, do you want this shit to go on for as long as it can go on, or do you want this shit to end as soon as fucking possible, or anywhere in between that? Well, depending on what your percentage is, from as soon as possible to as long as possible, is going to depend on your percentage of compulsory versus voluntary. If you want it to go on as long as possible, be 100% voluntary. If you want it to go as quickly as possible, be 100% compulsory. And if you are willing to mix and match, like to make certain compromises, so it might not go on as long as possible, but it won't end as quickly as possible either, in order to match your moral structure as a personal individual, then just understand you're going to have to be a certain percentage compulsory and a certain percentage voluntary. You know, it just is what it is. People don't like hearing that shit because they all want to think they're the best person on earth. I'm the best person. I'm a vegan. No, I'm the best person. I'm antinatalist. No, I'm the best person. I'm pro-mortalist. I'm the best person because I'm anti-cosmic. I'm above all of you. I'm the best person because I'm a voidist. I'm like, everyone's the best person. But then it all comes down to because I'm a voluntarist. Like, okay, all right, you guys are all great people. None of your goals will ever get accomplished, but you're all wonderful human beings. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, I hate this species. Even the smart ones are dumb. Like, we're all retards. We're all fucking monkeys, and we want to all pretend like we're something special or something better than the next or whatever. Like, no, we're not. We're trash. Like, every last fucking one of us. I don't care if you're a voluntarist, a compulsorist, you're trash. I don't care if you're rich or poor, you're trash. Like, I don't care if you're an elite or anti-elite anarchist, you're trash too. Like, I'm telling you, we're all fucking trash. Uh, Let me ask you this. What up, Gnostic Jedi? Do you think there's an afterlife? Is there a soul spirit that exists apart from the human animal body? All right, he's asking me this question of my subjective, individualized thought processes and opinions. Based on that, I'm going to say yes, absolutely, 100%. Based on my own astral experiences, my own occult experiences, my own magical experiences, etc., 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 etc. Based on all the studies, all the research, based on all the near-death experiences, based on all the reincarnation philosophies, based on just the idea. So even if we just bring it up to today, right? A lot of people will argue, all that's a fantasy. You didn't exist, then you were born, then you came back into existence. I go, okay, then I would have to argue this is an afterlife. This is life and afterlife. Because if you didn't exist, then you were born, and suddenly you exist, explain that to me. How do you go from non existence to existence? You weren't a spirit, you weren't a soul, you weren't a consciousness or a subconsciousness, you weren't a spark, you weren't the divine light, or whatever people want to call this shit to make it sound all pretty and wonderful. You weren't none of that shit. Your ass was literally non existent. And then you came into existence. Okay, well, the only way that that is possible is because it's possible, right? Like, you don't even have to understand how that happens. You just know that it does if that's what you believe, right? So it's possible to go from non-existence to existence, right? So then if you die and go back into non-existence, it's possible for you exactly as you are, let alone as in any other form, to come back into existence. Like, and if things come out of non-existence directly and into existence, then anything is possible. There could be a quadrillion different universes right now simultaneously. Like, if that's the case, literal non-existence to existence, then there's an uncountable amount of lives and afterlives and that are possible. And if that's the case, if there's this nigh infinite amount of possible lives and afterlives, because you could just go from non-existence to existence to non-existence to existence to non-existence to, like, then it's a guarantee that there's some type of so-called afterlife. And honestly, if you went from non-existence to existence and now you exist in this form, there's no reason you couldn't exist in another form. Like, people always like to pick one thing. I'll tell you my experiences and my thought processes, but even then I'll say that's just mine though. Like, just take it all for what it is. Like, there, I have way more reasons to believe that something happens after you die here than you just cease to exist. And even if you do just cease to exist, I have every reason to believe that one day you will exist again because you didn't exist before and then you did. So now that you don't again, you probably will again. Like, like, I don't care which argument you want to go with. I could probably show you how that loops back around to living in some form or fashion. You know. Now, if you asked my thought processes on it, it would be based on astral, not as how a lot of people seem to see it, because I think they think way too small and they try to be too Buddhist or too Hindu or too whatever the fuck about it. They try to pick like one religious view of it. And I go, no, just think of material reality, conceptual reality, and non conceptual reality. And if you don't understand what those things are, go back through my other live streams or just Google this shit, YouTube this shit. What is non conceptual reality? Like, just look it up. If you want to understand it from a more scientific or mathematical perspective, go look up ZFC theory and understand all the possible layers of reality in mathematics. Go look up Platonic mathematics. Um, just look up what concepts even are. Look up what potential is. Look at what possibility even is. You'll realize that possibility is technically nothing. A possible child is not a child. It's a possibility. Like a possible universe is not a universe until it actually comes into existence. Then it's a universe. It's no longer a possible universe. It's just a universe. Like this weird fucking stupid fucking. I was looking at the at the chat here, and I don't know if YouTube just something just popped up and said like put a little quiz question, and it said what's the best food at a bakery? Like shut the fuck up, YouTube. Like shut up, algorithm. Like with your dumb fucking weird lovey-dovey extra rainbows and butterflies. What's the best food at a bakery? Bitch, do you know what live stream you're on? Like, oh, I hate this AI. One moment you did not exist, and then another moment you existed, and then another moment you ceased to exist, and then another moment you potentially come back here through reincarnation. But an afterlife, like a heaven or hell, for I believe in no such thing, not fully, anyways, subjectively speaking, but this universe is already being a hell out here. A heaven, pass on that. Now, a heaven or a hell, no, that's just silly. That's Christian belief. That's them trying to pick. Oh, and that's the other thing. Just look at these religions when they tell you, oh, there's a heaven and a hell. So there's only two possible realities after this one, and one of them is as worse as it gets, and one of them is supposedly as good as it gets. Which, if you actually look into how they're written, don't actually unfold that way. But for the colloquial understanding of heaven and hell, one is perfection and wonderful, and the other one is terrible and torture and pain. So there's those two places, and then there's this in between place that has a mix of both of those, has pleasures and pains, and that's the only options in all of existence and all of reality. That just sounds silly, bro. That doesn't even make much sense. Why are those possible, but nothing else is? Like the moment you open up the possibilities to those potentials being actualized into existence, you open it up for many, many, many realms. Many, many, many realms. Like, people just always like to bring things down to what makes them comfortable, whether that's non existence, because they think that they're just going to cease forever. Well, if that's where you were before and now you're here now, you're probably not going to cease forever. And who knows? Maybe you weren't there before. Maybe you were alive and you died and popped up in another womb somewhere, but you thought you were non existent. Yet there's a bunch of kids these days and throughout history who have memories of past lives that seem to be quite fucking accurate. Like, when studied directly by scientists, they're like, yeah, what this kid said doesn't make any fucking sense unless he was that fucking person. There's no way he knew these things. He couldn't study these things. He couldn't, none of this shit. But then you can also make arguments about consciousness, subconsciousness, the interconnection between different individuated consciousnesses. Fucking, what do they call that shit? The global unconscious, whatever the fuck, where it's all interconnected, so information can simply be transferred from one being to another being, even throughout time, etc. Yada yada, blah blah blah. All these thought, all these thoughts and possibilities and probabilities, etc. But it generally boils down to we don't know a fucking thing. We like we could believe a whole bunch of shit. We could provide a bunch of subjective evidence and even objective evidence for a whole bunch of possibilities. But unless you can definitively prove something, you don't fucking know. You believe, you think. Like, you know, like based on my astral experiences, I could sit here and tell you that I fucking know. But could I prove that to you externally? No. And if I can't prove it externally, it's not something I actually know. If it's something you could only prove to yourself within yourself, you don't actually know that thing. You believe that thing based on your own subjective experience of that thing and your own brain's analysis of that subjective experience. Because in order for you to remember any of it here as a human, you must use your brain to digest that shit and then explain it to yourself. When you wake up from a dream, an astral experience, a meditation, etc., whatever the fuck it is, whatever experience you had, and you come back here, your brain is what you're using to decipher and analyze it in order to put it into a language you can speak and understand while here. which means it probably is not even a direct translation of what actually occurred in the experience itself. And yet you gonna tell people you know? Come on, bro. Like you don't know a fucking thing. You believe wholeheartedly based upon the subjective experience you had, which is perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Just know that. This is like when I talk about the astral and stuff, for the most part, I just don't, because I go, that's just my shit. Like that's why am I gonna sit here and talk to you motherfuckers about something you never experienced? What's the point? Like, what's like? You, I'm gonna sit here and talk to you about objective shit that could be definitively proven within reality that you literally can't argue against. You could try, but you'll fail because it logically, philosophically, scientifically, mathematically, et cetera, lines up. It's objective. I'm not gonna sit here and try to convince you of subjective shit that I experienced. That's pointless. You know, it's like so I don't even believe in talking about that shit. It's useless. What do you believe? Do you believe there's an afterlife? Do you believe in heaven and hell? Do you believe in the astral? Do you believe in this? Do you believe in that? Do you believe in this? Whatever the fuck it may be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then, by all means, walk your path. But I would also remain open to all other possibilities. And a lot of people don't like to do that. And they like to act like because they're not open to all other possibilities are objectively false. Yet the one they believe in is also, if those are objectively false, that one's usually also objectively false. Just based on the level of evidence that's required for them to make the claim that the other ones are objectively false, theirs is also objectively false. Like, and that's the same thing with reality arguments: soul trap, simulation, fucking God's creation, Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, the demiurge, the archons, the greys, the reptilians, the matrix, whatever the fuck people want, the astral realm that it is. None of y'all have the objective evidence to externally prove that which you're claiming. And most of your evidence is subjective to begin with. And whatever objective evidence and even most of the subjective evidence that you do have also points to a handful of other realities, possible realities, that may even have more objective and subjective evidence than the one you're using that evidence for, because that's the one you want it to be. Facts. Like, like, but people hate to hear that shit. No, it's definitely this. Okay, if you say so. You can't prove that for shit. I could probably even disprove that. But okay. Like, whatever you say, like, believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. And claim that it's fucking objectively true. So, do I believe that there is some type of afterlife? Now, I wouldn't call it an afterlife. This is all just life. There is like this isn't the first place that I would say I've been. You know, it's like I didn't start here. Like this already is an afterlife. This is already after a life that I had somewhere else, which itself could have been an afterlife of something like. And the moment you start getting into afterlives, well, which one was really life? And are you sure that this life as a human is your first life? Are you sure this is even your first human life? Not do you believe, are you sure? Can you definitively prove that externally? Can you objectively approve that with objective evidence? No, you fucking can't. So when we start talking about afterlives and before lives and life, thinking that this is life, I have to go, well, all of that is within existence. So you're just talking about existence. Do I believe that I existed prior to this or that I will continue to exist after this? Well, seeing as I am a piece of existence and existence is a whole thing, that's an objective yes. Will I exist in an individuated form or this particular individuated form or go to some particular realm? Well, that's all subjective and there's no point in even talking about it. Do you get what I'm saying? There's literally no point even discussing such a thing. Because could I ever prove that to any of you? Fuck no. It would just be a cool story, bro. Nice, nice story time. Like, let's stick to objective shit. Let's talk about some shit that is guaranteed real, that is actually happening and actually occurring right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. At least that's just me. I would rather sit here and talk about I don't know AI that is happening right here, right the fuck now, and getting ready to Borg all of us. I'd rather talk about that transhumanism shit, that posthumanism shit, planetary brains and shit. I'd rather talk about the suffering that's happening right here, right now, the wars happening right here, right now. Like, a lot of motherfuckers want to talk about some shit that is after they die. And I think a lot of that is because they want to ignore what's happening while they're here. Like I'm not saying that's you, Gnostic Jedi. I'm just saying that's what I get from most people in this section of the internet who always want to focus on, well, we should just go fight the Archons. Okay, kill yourself, go fight them. Oh, I'm not doing that, so you're still here, right? And you're gonna be here, right? So then you might want to you might want to tap into what's going on the fuck around you here, especially if you want to even be able to go fight the Archons. Well, if your ass gets trapped here as a Borg due to that transhumanistic AI system coming online, thanks to fucking Mission Genesis and Operation Stargate and whatnot, like your ass might want to pay attention before you get stuck the fuck here and can't even go fight the Archons wherever the fuck you think you're gonna go fight them. Like we think in weird ways. We don't even put it all together. I'm perfectly fine with the idea of going to battle the Archons. I preach that shit myself, but that's on an entirely different level of reality than I am currently inhabiting. So, what are the Archons here, right now? See, all of existence, all of reality is just layers of the same fucking thing. So if there's Archons there, guess what? There's Archons here. Who are the Archons here? What are the Archons here? What do the Archons do? All right. So who's doing that on this level? Those are Archons. Like it's that simple. Like a lot of the spiritual shit that we like to get out of left field with, you can bring it right down to this reality because guess what? If spirituality is real, if the spirit is real, then this is also a spiritual realm because all realms would be spiritual realms because all would be made of spirit. All is spirit. like that's literally what all means. So this would be a spirit realm too. You're already in a spirit form in a spirit realm fighting spirit archons. Guess what? If you're going to go to some other spirit realm and fight other spirit beings, they would be physical to you, yes? If they're non-physical and you can't interact with each other, first off, you're not vibrating on the same frequency, so you can't even interact. That means you can't fight. Like, like even for, well, we would do it mentally. That means you still have to be vibrating on that same frequency for your mentals to somehow interact directly to fight each other, having a genjutsu battle. Well, what is a genjutsu? Like, do you understand? Like, really break it down what you're doing. We're having a consciousness fight. Okay, so your two consciousnesses are clashing, right? So consciously, they're physically the same. They're able to interact, right? So that means every realm is a physical realm in its own form or fashion because whatever lives or exists on that level can interact with whatever else lives and exists on that level. Just like whatever lives and exists here can interact with whatever lives and exists here. You get what I'm saying? So every realm is a spirit realm. Every life is an afterlife. It's all the same shit. Like, it's all the same shit. Wherever the fuck you are is where you should be putting in work. And wherever you go next is where you should be putting in work next. You're here now. So you should be putting in work here now. And be preparing for the work you're going to put in next, wherever you go next. Starting with whatever you believe. I would say take all possibilities, list them from top to bottom, highest probability to least probability, and prepare for every single one of those possibilities to the best of your ability. That way, whichever one actually occurs, you did your best to prepare for it. That way, if you're wrong about what you think comes next, whatever does come next, you're prepared for it as much as you could have been. You get what I'm saying? Wherever you are now, do the work there now. Wherever you go next, put in work there next. It's like we overthink things and underthink things simultaneously. We underthink where we are and overthink where we believe we're going next. Is it like, like when you should be just thinking about where you are and thinking about where you're going next and behave accordingly. That's how I see it. That's why I don't really like to talk about afterlife shit like that because we're still right here right now. It's like, and whenever we get into that discussion, people always want to just get to the point of like, well, nothing here matters. It only matters there. Okay, sure. Somebody could argue that argument there. Well, where do you go after there? Is that the last stop? Is there an afterlife that you can't even contemplate until you get there, or that you won't? Because you could contemplate that now if I'm doing it as we speak. You get what I'm saying? So what if there's an afterlife? What if there's levels to this shit? Well, then no level matters but the final level. Yet they're all levels of the same thing. It's like playing a video game, like you're playing Streets of Rage or some shit. And you're trying to get to the final level and the final boss, right? Your ass can't get to the final boss or the final level without passing level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So every level matters just to get to that final level to face that final boss. Yes, like come on, bro. Let's climb the ladder. Let's deal with the levels. You don't fight Shang Tsung or Shao Kahn until you get past Goro and Motaro, and you don't get to them until you get past Sub-Zero and the Scorpion and Reptile. You gotta climb the ladder. Climb up that leaderboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, just simplify these things in certain aspects. Thank you for your thoughtful answer. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Gnostic Jedi. I appreciate you. Lead the cosmic forces. But you did just give me a good thought there, like to think about that. Like everybody always wants to, I'm just gonna wait till I go to the astral. That's a mistake. Do you understand what artificial intelligence is? Like, do you understand what the astral is? Do you understand consciousness? Do you actually understand subconsciousness? Do you understand intellect and intelligence? Do you understand material, conceptual, and non-conceptual reality? Do you know what these things actually are? So do you understand that an artificial intelligence plugged into humans alone, let alone anything else throughout the cosmos, will be capable of accessing this place and still coming to get your ass? Like no matter what thought realm, spirit realm, soul realm you want to come up with, the thing that eats all things can still chase you down there and eat you there. And guess what? You allowed it to come into existence because you thought this level of reality doesn't mean anything. This one's not important, only the next one. Okay. But if you are going from this one to that one, like really think about it, they're interconnected. Smart one. Like only the astral matters. But you have a connection to the astral now, yes? Yes. So that's another realm than this one. Yes. So this is a realm, and that's a realm. Yes. And right now you're connected to this realm. Yes. And when you disconnect from this realm, you expect to go to that realm. Yes. So this is a fucking astral realm. And this is your current astral body in this realm that vibrates on this frequency so you can be here. When you go there and have your astral body, as you call it, which makes me laugh, like whatever realm you're in is the body you must possess. That is the avatar you must be maintained within to vibrate on the frequency of that reality so you can interact with things there. Well, I don't really feel that way too much when I'm there now because you're still connected here. You're barely connected there. Like we might not like, and you know what? You still do. You still can feel pain there, hot, cold, all sorts of shit. You'll generally just feel them lesser because you're not actually there. You're still here. Your body's still here. You're still connected to it. In many cases, when you're over there, you're still fully aware of what you're doing here, laying in your bed or sitting in your meditative state or whatever the fuck you're doing. You're still fully aware of your body's circumstances while you're off in another realm somewhere, thinking, oh, this is what it's going to be like when I die and leave. No, you're then going to be fully transferred, which means you're going to be fully vibrating at that frequency now. And it's going to be a lot like vibrating at this one. Like all of a sudden, when you thought you couldn't feel pain or there was no type of hunger, there was no type of waste, there was no type of energy exchange, you're going to realize, oh shit, everything here is an energy exchange too. Everything I do expends energy. And I still need to replenish my energy, which is eating. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and things are still after my energy, which is predation. I can still feel pain. As a matter of fact, holy shit. It's more enhanced here because I just feel more here. I feel everything more here. Yeah, you couldn't tell that when you were still attached to your human body. But as soon as you get there and you are a higher frequency being, like people think that high frequency means love and light and wonderfulness. No, no, no. It just means a level of vibration. It's literally just a frequency of vibration within existence itself. Existence is a giant blob of fucking energy. And different things vibrate at different frequencies to maintain certain structures. Your human body does it. Your atoms, every single part of you is vibrating. Everything in existence is vibrating at a frequency. And the frequency it vibrates at is what maintains its structural order. If you were to vibrate something beyond the ability for that structure to maintain itself, it would shatter. Like high frequencies with glass. You go hit the right pitch on a glass and the shit shatters. Guess what? The same thing could happen to your body. Like same thing can happen to anything in existence. Because everything in existence has a vibrational frequency that is required to maintain its structure. Period. I don't give a fuck if you're here in some astral realm as a soul, as a spirit. Your astral realm itself, which is what I would call your soul, the first body that contains your consciousness, that contains your spiritual essence. And then you have this body because you have different avatars and different realities, but you have your main body that is connected to any other bodies that you're avataring at any given moment in time in any particular realm. All has its own vibrational frequency, all of it. So no matter where you go in existence, when you are fully attached to that existence, fully avatared in that realm, I'll guarantee you the shit in that realm is gonna be able to touch your ass. like, like people, I just want to go be a spirit somewhere where there's no this and no that. Good luck with that. That's not existence, nigga. Like wherever the fuck you exist, you're going to exist. Period. And if all things are energy and everything is an energy exchange, and if all actions require energy to be expended, because if you are energy, meaning energy is required, because if you are energy, you require energy. If you are energy, any energy that you expend brings you closer to death in whatever form you're in, which is why, as a human, as you expend energy in your life, you must replenish it by eating and drinking. The only difference between any realm or any being on any level of reality would be what is your version of eating? How do you replenish energy? How do you expend energy based on the actions you take? What actions do you take in that realm? How much energy do those actions take, and how do you replenish that energy? That's no different than living and eating, my nigga. And anytime you replenish energy, I guarantee you there is some type of waste. Even if you want to take it's just a purely energetic waste, go look at a show like Dragon Ball. When they power up, when their auras come, that is wasted energy. In order for them to expend the energy they need to expend to fight, they must also waste energy. And throughout their entire career, they're trying to learn to maintain that energy. Like, if you go look at Jujutsu Kaisen, they call it cursed energy efficiency. How efficient are you at using your energy so you expend less of it per cursed technique? It's no different than in boxing or kickboxing or running or anything else you could think of. Guess what? That translates to any and all realms of existence. Like you still are energy there because all that is energy. Therefore, all that is requires energy. Therefore, all that is doing anything uses energy, which means all that is requires energy to be replenished. And if you require energy to be replenished, it's almost a guarantee that you can waste energy. Like, duh. Like, this is what it is. And if you replenish energy, anything that you are using to replenish that energy, anything that you don't need from that thing is considered a waste product. That's why you piss and shit as a human. So if you're consuming energy in a different form or fashion in another realm, I guarantee you, you will be consuming certain parts of that being, energy, whatever the fuck it is, that you don't actually need, which you will then expel as a waste product in some form or fashion. Like, people don't think about what existence actually is. They just think about, I just want my heaven, and I just want my heavenly realm where I don't have to do this, or I don't have to do that, or I don't have to do that. That's not existence. Like, you don't want to exist, is what you're actually saying. But then if you tell them that, what you really want is nothingness. No, I don't want nothingness. Okay, then keep existing, motherfucker. Like, like, I don't know what to tell you, dumbass. Like, and then you finally do get to the some folks who are like, you know what? Yeah, I think I do want nothingness. And then it goes, all right, well, here's the bad news. As long as anything exists, there's no such thing as pure nothingness. Because there's somethingness. And as long as there is somethingness, well, you can't have true nothingness. And even if you could get rid of that somethingness, as long as there is the potential, the possibility, the chaos in the void for something to exist, somethingness will always return, if not always be there in some weird dualistic state between nothing and something, because potential and possibility themselves are literally nothing, but are required for anything, let alone everything, making them both something and nothing simultaneously. So, if you actually want to be nothing, you want true, permanent, guaranteed non existence to never have any type of experience ever again, you're going to have to wipe out all of existence and even the potential for it, which is not voluntaristic. That's extremely compulsory. That is hardcore force on all things that exist. Are you willing to impose your will in such a manner? That doesn't sound morally correct. Well, hey, exist forever, my nigga. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we love fantasies. We love being children. Like, and shout out to Illicit Mind. It says, everybody got a child in them. And this is true. And you should nurture and love that fucking child. But at the same time, you should teach and train that fucking child to still, be a child, be childlike, but still think like an adult in certain aspects. Like, because we like to be too fantastical about shit. We love to be too love and light about shit, too rainbows and butterflies about shit, and just not fucking real enough with ourselves, let alone each other. Like, this one, like, I'm about to walk in the bathroom right now. I'm gonna look in the mirror and be like, nigga, you trash. You are fucking trash. I'm looking at myself. Why? Because I just need to keep reminding myself that every now and again. To never, because again, people in their bullshit morality thinking that they're better than other people because they're more moral, and it's like, you're just dumber than other people. I'm sorry. Like, it's the truth. Yeah, you're a great person. You're a good person. But you being a good person is never going to accomplish the goal, which is going to lead to further suffering, which is et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? We're too fantastical. We're too utopian. We're too, if everybody would just choose, it's never going to happen. Period. I don't give a fuck what your next statement is, what philosophy you believe in. If everybody would just choose, you've already failed. You've already failed miserably, like horrifically. And whatever the fuck you were trying to solve is going to continue going on, because existence still is, and the potential for it still is. Like, so people always want these fantastical heavens and spirit realms and all this wonderfulness, and it's bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Existence is existence is existence is existence. I don't give a fuck where you're existing or how you're existing. If you're existing, you are existing. Period. All right. Sweat leaf. Shout out to you. If nothingness can't ever logically ever be attained, as that would also be something, then I hope that nothing, something state is better than this one. Well, let me explain it this way. Nothingness may very well possibly be attainable if it is at all possible to end the possibility for existence itself. Possibility itself is nothing and something. Potential is nothing and something simultaneously. If you could get rid of possibility, get rid of potential, you get rid of the something part of that equation. The only way to get rid of Like you can get rid of something, right? But the potential for that something still exists, meaning it could come back into existence at some point in the future. If you can get rid of that potential, you can get rid of something entirely. There will never be a something again. It would be pure nothing. The question is that even possible from any level or tier of reality? Don't actually know, but I'm willing to try. Another question is, does the something aspect of that, because all things have a decay rate. So even chaos, even potential possibility, may very well have its own cosmological decay rate because the something aspect of it. See, the nothing aspect doesn't have a decay rate. Nothing can decay. Like there's nothing to decay in nothing. Like so, nothingness can't be decayed because there's nothing to decay. But the somethingness of the potential, the somethingness of that possibility, the somethingness of that chaos, all of that decays when it does exist. So, can it decay as somethingness on its own? Meaning, eventually, all potential and possibility will cease existing completely and entirely on its own. Maybe I could theorize it. I could easily hypothesize that. But since half of it is nothing, I could never objectively state that that is the case at all. I can't even prove that that's possible. I'd like to think it is, but that's just me liking to think it is. I would still generally not rely on it and think, well, we have to some way, somehow figure out a way to do that. We have to push everything in that direction in some form or fashion, or it's probably never going to happen. Now, what I will say is this based on it being a better state, yeah, chaos itself, pure potential, is, I would say, a better state than this because this is an actualized potential. This is actually happening. This is really happening. This is existing within chaos, within potential, within possibility, within purely randomized potential. Nothing is actually happening because nothing has been actualized. Nothing is real because no potential has yet to be realized. The moment you realize a potential or possibility is when something comes into existence. You see what I'm saying? So, as long as there's nothing actually existing, yeah, that's definitely a better state. That's as close to pure nothingness as we know things get. It's not pure nothingness because there's still possibility, meaning that somethingness is still there. It's just not actualized. But it's as close to pure nothingness as we know for a fact things actually get all on their own thanks to entropy, let alone if we could find a way to speed that shit up or somehow maintain it, let alone get rid of it entirely so there's actual nothingness, whether that's even possible or not. What you got to say here, Basin? There is no such thing as life, flowery kumbaya, Disney movie, dream pursuing shit, only existence. I like that you put it that way. There's no such thing as life, only existence. uh, brutal horrors of decay or deadly nature of corruption, of evil, of corpses. Which is why you never see anything saying, enjoy existence, only enjoy life. Yeah, true. Manifest your best life. Yeah, and not manifest your best existence. Live life and not live existence. I assume that 60% of my messages be invisible in your chat. Oh, you know what? Let me click all here because it's probably not on all. Of course it's not. Even though I clicked it earlier, it just switches to chat to top chat. This should be fucking, fuck this AI, fuck these algorithms, fuck you, YouTube, even though I'm on your platform. Fuck you anyway. Fuck the feds, fuck all you motherfuckers who are watching and censoring people and like trying to control what motherfuckers have to say and have to like fuck all of y'all. Suck a dick, die quickly. And if you like sucking dick, suck something you don't like. I don't know, like fuck all y'all. Suck your pistols. Let's see. I assume that 60% of my messages be invisible, or your chat filter is top messages instead of all messages. Then my comments just expeditiously pass into disappearance on your screen. Yeah, because see, when I started off, the first thing I did was click all messages, and then when I go back to look after seeing what it's on top messages. Like yesterday, I was having a long ass, all day long conversation with some dude. I can't even remember what his name was on one of my posts in the comment sections of one of my posts, and I went looking for a video for him to explain the Genesis mission. Um, or also known as Operation Genesis, which is a executive order put in place by Donald Trump in order to merge all of the fucking. It goes along with Project Stargate, which he did like a couple months ago, to merge all the AIs into one AI and have national AGI, etc. And when I went back to look for his comments, which we had been speaking on all day long, I couldn't find them. And I'm like, man, what post was I on? I thought I was on this post. So I went looking at my other posts and I was like, no, I was on this post. So I went back to that post. There's no comments there. And I noticed the comments were turned off. Mind you, not a single one of my posts has its comments turned off. Everything that I share, every live, everything, I make sure that if there is a settings option to not filter anything, that's what I do. I don't filter no comments. I allow anyone to comment because I'm willing to respond to all comments. And yet it's turned the fuck off while we were having a conversation there all day. So I go look at the live stream that the post is about because I shared the live stream as a post. Because if I don't do that, I can't even click them from my lives because the algorithm doesn't let me. It's fucking retarded. I literally have to share my live stream as a post before I can even click it and rewatch it. So I go back to the live stream that was connected to that post, and I realized that on that live stream, which already had comments on it before me and this guy even had this conversation, the comments are turned off there too. And I'm like, okay, YouTube, I see you. Algorithm, AI, YouTube, Alphabet, Feds, whoever the fuck, like whoever's watching that shit was peeping that shit and then decided to just turn the comments off and delete everything that was there. I see you and fuck you and suck a dick. Like, real talk. That's how much I can't stand. Because I know that they do these little things. Like, I had this shit on all messages. And that shit only happens on my shit. Like, so if I go to watch somebody else's stream, if I go watch Illicit Mind, Chris Sidaris, Mark Moon Spilly, if I go watch somebody else stream and I click all messages, it will stay there the entire time they're streaming. On my own stream, when I'm trying to respond to people, I'll click all messages and I have to keep checking that shit because it will switch itself to top messages. Oh, it's just a glitch. Sure it is. Like, and maybe it is, but it don't feel like it with all the other bullshit that happens. Like, fuck these people. Fuck their AI. Fuck their algorithms. Fuck all their bullshit. Sweet leaf. Yeah, I understand that logic. After all this theorizing, what methods can we do to attain the pure, formless, chaotic state again? Or are we doomed to just theorizing till we drop the human flesh suit? Well, that is automatic. We technically don't have to do anything. Chaos will rise again, like it always is. When a universe or any form of creation, a simulation, etc., when a matrix, astral, when existence itself, when reality itself is realized, is actualized into existence, it starts off with its lowest form of entropy. As it exists longer and longer and becomes more and more complex, and more things are born into this reality and occur within existence itself. The more events, the more time that passes, the chaos that is literally structured into order that we call existence is slowly but surely seeping out. It's literally being unleashed. This is called entropy. Chaos rising in a system is measured by entropy. Chaos decreasing in a system is measured by negentropy. But no system can be negentropic forever. It's literally impossible. As a matter of fact, all so-called negentropic systems are technically still entropic systems. A system for itself could slip under the 50%. So it could be 51% negentropic and 49% entropic for itself. But it's what it's literally doing, that 2% of entropy that is different, and that 49% of entropy that it's no longer opposing upon itself, is being released into its environment. So when you build a house, you are actually being negentropic for yourself. But anything and everything that is required for that house, you're being entropic for. Anything you displace, like the environment itself, the bugs, the creatures, etc., everything you do that is negentropic is still entropic for something somewhere else. And that's the beauty of it. We don't have to do anything, but it's going to take a long fucking time, depending on whatever level of existence you're thinking of. When I think of pure, like just ending existence and going into that pure chaotic state for real, well, that's going to take however long it takes to get rid of existence. If you want to talk about any other lesser level of reality that you want to destroy or be entropic towards, like say, I don't know, the government, society, monetary systems, economics, well, that's going to take a shorter time, but it's going to require much more direction. That shit will go away over time. But these motherfuckers are so good at what they're doing, like these elites. But they understand this shit. Like they're not. They understand this shit better than we do, like far better. To the point where they know how to just reset their shit over and over again. They literally just roll things into the next system, which is what we've watched them do just in our lifetime, let alone what we're watching them do right now with the Great Reset, Agenda 2030, artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence, artificial superintelligence, transhumanism, posthumanism, the planetary brain they're terraforming this world into, etc. We're watching them do it again as we speak. So they understand this shit even better than we do, to the point where they're capable of just rolling it into the next thing and keeping it going, keeping it going, keeping it going. Humanity was becoming the Borg. Slowly but surely, that's what we're becoming. That's their next stage of it. So while we sit here and go, oh, humans should go extinct, they're like, nah, they should just be rolled into the next sentient organism. Technically, there won't be humans. There will be transhumans, the Borg, and then post-human planetary brain. But all that was just rolled into this next existence that's going to last even longer. You get what I'm saying? So if you want to get rid of that, that's what's going to take more direct entropy. That's what's going to have to be like, motherfucker, somebody's going to have to go blow up Google at some point. Someone's going to have to go blow up government buildings and do crazy shit if they actually want to stave off and avoid that type of stuff. But when it comes to existence itself, you really don't have to do anything. It's going to take a Googleplex years, but eventually it's going to cease existing. The question is, how fast do you want it to go? Do you want to cut that time down on any tier of reality, let alone all of reality? Then you have to be more and more entropic to more and more things in existence in order to release more and more entropy, which is the chaos rising. You have to release more and more chaos. You have to be more and more chaotic. The more things that are more and more chaotic, the higher the entropy in any particular system that those things are directly or indirectly affecting, from any individual lower level systems that we affect here as humans, all the way up to all of existence itself. So the question is, what level of reality are you focused on, let alone all of reality? I would suggest be focused on every single level of reality you could possibly imagine, including all of reality as a whole. Starting right wherever the fuck you are and can most directly and indirectly affect, which would be here as a human right now. Be as entropic as you possibly can, as entropic as you are willing and able to be towards any and all systems you seek to end, including going all the way up to all of existence itself. In doing so, you will speed up the end of all of those levels of reality, all of those systems, including the greater system. How much? Well, that remains to be seen based upon what everybody does. But you will be doing it. That's an objective fact. And that's what I like to talk about. Objective reality that can be definitively proven, that nobody can argue as much as they want to. That they literally just can't anyway. There's nothing to argue. And indeed, in order for something to be something, it has to be nothing first and then be actualized into being something, like how the universe was not a thing and then it was a thing. Exactly. The potential for the universe, the possibility for the universe must be there first in order for there to ever be a universe. If the universe itself is literally impossible, it could never be a thing, which means it never would have been a thing. But since it is a thing, it guarantees that the possibility of it being a thing was already there. Just like if you have a child, the possibility for you to have a child had to be there before there was a child. The child literally didn't exist. The child was nothing. And then the father and mother had sex, and the child became something. It went from being possible to being actual. This is what actualization is. This is what realization is. This is how things become actual or real. They go from being nothing to being something, but it's the same thing. The possibility of the child then becomes the child. This is why all things are actually layers of nothing. And people can't wrap their heads around that. It's actually pretty basic, but it still breaks people's brains. Everything that is at some point in time was not. It's that simple. There's nothing you can point to that currently exists that didn't at some point not exist. So the moment it didn't exist, it was literally nothing. Then it comes into existence, making it something. So it is literally nothing that flipped to something. The child did not exist. Then the child did exist. The child was not a thing. No thing. Nothing. Then the child was a thing. Something. Meaning, the child is just no thing actualized into something based on potential, possibility, which is both nothing and something simultaneously, because a possibility is not an actual thing. It doesn't actually exist. It is not realized. That's why it's called an unactualized potential. It's just a potential, it's just a possibility. But an actualized or realized potential slash possibility is a thing that actually exists now. So possibility is literally nothing yet required for all things that exist. It's the reason we can flip from nothing to something. It's why we have something rather than nothing, which is what my entire next stream is going to be about. That's what I was going to give y'all a preview on today, but I just didn't feel like doing it. I really just didn't. It's like 10 hours. The family should be getting home any minute now. They should be done with the Christian indoctrination camp by this point. So I was like, I don't feel like spending the little bit of time I have on that preview because that's gonna be like a 10-hour presentation. We're gonna go over a lot of shit. We're gonna be reading a lot of shit and listening to a lot of shit. That better be my mother, or someone's about to get shot walking in this door. Let's see. Anything else here? I'm playing these bitch ass games a lot. Yes, they do. Thanks. Entropy is a great way which explains the physics of the demiurgic cage we are in. I don't want to be reincarnated here ever again. I'm sure you don't. I'm so done with this entire existence. You better believe it. Which is why I want to destroy every level of reality, including right here. This planet, every sentient species on it, humanity. I don't want no possibility to exist on any level of reality. So, on any level of reality that I currently exist within, that's what I'm going to learn, teach, preach, promote. And in any way that I possibly can and that I'm willing and able to carry out, I'm going to carry out solutions in that direction as well to try to actually reach the end goal, which is why I started off the stream with saying I'm not a voluntarist antinatalist, a human extinctionist, pro-mortalist, anti-cosmic voidist. I'm very much about imposing that upon everything because that's the only way to ever actually get it done. Trying to get everyone to volunteer to not have children or to go extinct or to exterminate all sentient species, let alone all of existence, let alone the potential for existence itself is it's retarded. Like it's borderline retarded. It's never going to happen. Not on any of those levels will anyone ever volunteer at a mass scale, let alone 100%, to do those things. Which is why I'm very compulsory when it comes to those things. Everyone can choose to do whatever the fuck they want. I can't force anyone. Let me say this: I can't force everyone to do anything. So ultimately, people, it's going to come down to choice no matter what. But if you choose to simply allow everyone to be voluntaristic about ending anything that involves them, well, you're never going to get that job done. So at some point, people are going to have to start choosing compulsory actions. Some people are going to have to start pushing a lot of little red buttons that equal the big red button. Especially those people who always say, well, if I had a big red button, I would press it. But you wouldn't press a bunch of little red buttons that equal the big red button. Now, would I push every single little red button? No. Even I have moral fucking hang-ups that would not allow me to do certain things. That's a fact. That again, that is the contradiction of being a fucking human. When you take your logic versus your emotions versus your morality versus etc. That's a human. We are contradictory and hypocritical in many fucking ways. I've always said this, and I'll always say this. Most people don't want to admit that to themselves. Like even the voluntarists, they're hypocritical and contradictory in the fact that they want human extinction, but they won't call it human extinction. But if 100% of people became antinatalist, that would lead to human extinction, which means they want human extinction because they want people to be antinatalist. but there's no way in fuck 100% of people would ever volunteer not to have children and go extinct. So they're never going to accomplish their goal by being voluntaristic. Yet they think that that is the moral high ground because they're not imposing suffering. Yet being voluntaristic and not imposing the level of suffering that is required to end all suffering is just going to guarantee more suffering in the future. So the math actually lines up that by being voluntary, you're creating more suffering than if you were being compulsory, which is why the logical people argue to be compulsory instead of voluntary. Do you understand? Like, this is. like, this is the contradiction of being a human. Take your logic, your emotions, your morals, put those three together, and what do you got? Some type of individuated human who's going to have an opinion based upon that combination of things. Do they lean more towards their morals, more towards their emotions, more towards their logic, more towards two out of the three? Are all three very equal? Like, depending on what it is, you're going to get different opinions and thought processes that are in some way, shape, or form going to be contradictory or hypocritical at some level of reality, if not all levels of reality. It just is what it is. Probably did not see these comments at all, so I shall put them here again. An archon does not even have to be a super powerful cosmic, atmospheric, Luciferian being. This planet already here has archons here. Shit, the planet itself could be argued to be an archon. Nature is an archon. The cosmos is an archon. The physical laws are archons. Natural laws are archons. Your DNA is an archon. The algorithms of survival instincts are archons, let alone other people, psychopaths, society, civilization, government, police, militaries, your parents, you, if you have any kids, or anyone that you've ever been in charge of, your managers, your boss, the owners of companies and corporations, CEOs, boards of directors, anyone or anything that enslaves or commands or places itself in a higher position than you in any type of hierarchy, anything that believes in hierarchy. That's what anarchy is. No archons. It is anti-hierarchy. Any and all hierarchical structures and anyone or anything that agrees to them is an archon. A lot of us are archons and we don't even fucking know it. like so like anyone or anything that has ever imposed its will in any form or fashion or believes in imposing its will in any form or fashion, anyone or anything that is in a hierarchical structure or believes in or creates or bends the knee to hierarchical structures is in some form or fashion an archon at one level or another. Even a slave who says, yeah, Massa's a good Massa, that slave is an archon who worships another archon. Because that slave will tell on you real fast. No, Massa, I heard him saying he's trying to escape. I heard he said he's going to try and kills you. He's going to try and burns down the plantation. He's an archon too. People don't understand what archons are. They really need to go study the word. Go study the Greek, the Aramaic that it comes from. Like, let alone anything and everything it could be applied to anywhere and everywhere. People think that that's some sort of species of aliens or spiritual beings or gods or I laugh. No, that's a title. An archon is a title. An anarchist is a title. These are not species. Like, come on now. Archons here who be beings in fancy suits, but flesh and bones, political imprisonment. Yep. Your parents be your archons, the school system be your archons, your so-called boss in the workforce be your archons, the police be your archons. I should have just read what you wrote, bro, because you saying it all right here. But we worry about a demiurge in the afterlife 24/7. Exactly. Like, they don't even understand what the demiurge is. It's not an individuated being. The demiurge is all that oppresses you. The demiurge is the reality itself, let alone that which created the reality. And if you want to get real deep with it, the demiurge is reality. Not just this, all reality, all existence is the demiurge, Saturn, etc. All experience, all consciousness, all time, all things that experience events that occur. Like anything and anyone anywhere and everywhere that can experience events that occur are within Saturn and are even part of Saturn. You are Saturn. You are the demiurge. Even though you want to destroy the demiurge, you are a suicidal thought in the demiurge. You are the demiurge thinking about killing the demiurge. This is why I always say we are God's suicidal ideation. Because we are all sparks of God thinking about killing God. Like, so people just, man, they worry about things in weird ways. They don't understand Gnosticism really at all. They take shit way too literally. They take it the same way a Christian would. They don't get it. Like, they don't fucking get it. Like, hello, you be here on the planet Earth, level 1 or stage 1, be dealing with all these weak ass flesh prison beings that these control freaks be. The military, the cops, the president, yourself, etc. All of that before even worrying about going on to some level 100 super infernal hell, brawling with some super level 666 giant Satana Archon boss while you still did not even go past the first 10 levels. Exactly. I'm afraid of the police. If they try to pull me over, I'm going to pull over. But when I get to the astral, I'm going to fuck up those angels and those demons. And yeah, okay, sure you are. Whatever. If the SWAT team stacked on your door right now, what would you do? So when you see, like, I don't know, the same number of arcana entities with flaming swords, wings, 1,000 eyeballs, screeching and fucking sounds you've never heard before, like heads spinning, like flaming skulls, giants. Oh, I'm gonna fight them though. Sure you will, nigga. Sure you will. Your ass is going to cower in fear. If you're afraid of shit here, I promise you'll be afraid of shit there. And a lot of people think they won't go, well, in my dreams, I'm not. Nigga, that's a dream. You're still attached here. You don't feel the same emotion as you would there. Wait until you're fully detached from this reality and you're fully in that reality and that becomes your actual reality. Then tell me how you fucking feel standing in front of those fucking things. Everything you're doing here is, when it comes to that, is just training for actually being there. It's no different if you were playing, say, a GTA video game, right? If you were in another realm preparing for Earth and you play GTA, you're like, oh yeah, when I get there, I'm gonna be a drill. I know how to deal with all the stars and da da da. And then you actually get here, and like, are you still gonna be that much of a goon? Hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like, people love to act like they really know how they're gonna be when they get there based upon their experience of it here. But I promise you, I guarantee you, if you're afraid of shit here, you'll be even more afraid of shit there. Mark my fucking words. We want to speak about going to the astral and destroying the matrix and deities, but we keep saying in this little planet, there is nothing that we can do. Killing a tyrant is wrong. Exactly. There's nothing we can do, but you think that you're gonna go there and kill gods? Okay. All right. Like, there's nothing we could do on this place of an equal playing field where all flesh bags bleed the same fucking blood and die from the same things. But I'm gonna go over there where there's actual power levels. Like, I'm gonna go to a place where shit is not equal, where beings have been there for growing in power for eons while I've been trapped on fucking Earth. And I'm gonna go destroy and defeat them. But I won't do shit on Earth where all things are equal, at least until that AI and that nanotech really starts making super people. Like, while you have the opportunity to drill here against beings that can all bleed like you're fucking terrified and would never fucking do it. And violence is wrong and immoral, and I would never do that. You shouldn't harm anyone or anything. But you're gonna go to the astral where beings have power levels, like where it's not all equal and even, and realms are completely and entirely controlled by beings who are part of those realms and vice versa. Those realms are part of them, and you're gonna go battle them. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You shut up. You're just making excuses to be a pussy. If you won't even teach it, preach it, or promote it here, let alone carry it out yourself, you will not do it there. Mark my words. Mark my fucking words. You can't stare down a police officer, but you gonna stare down a dragon or some shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with niggas? Like, motherfuckers believe the dumbest shit. And it's that dumb. It's not even like, it's really fucking stupid for you to believe, that you're gonna go to another fucking realm where beings are not fucking at all equal. Like, at all. Where you're probably going to be a fucking weakling because you don't have that much willpower. Real talk. Where you're probably going to be even weaker than you are here in comparison to the other beings. But you're going to go there. And you're going to beat them there. Your ass can't even not pull over for a police officer here? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Like, y'all just be lying to yourselves. And this is what I was saying earlier about fantastical ideas and fantastical fantasies. Like, it's all fantastical, my nigga. It's bullshit. Like, that's just the truth of it. Motherfuckers is too fantastical. Which is why they want to believe in their version of heaven or something. So they don't even have to do it. Well, I don't even have to fight. I'm just going to click my heels and think that I'm a sovereign being. And by thinking the words, I am sovereign, I'm just going to end up in a heaven realm where no one can touch me ever again. But then you ask those same dumb motherfuckers, wait. You believe in that afterlife, yeah? So do you believe in the before life? You believe that you were already a spirit, a soul, a being, a consciousness, etc. Yes, and then you were somehow trapped here, soul trapped here, tricked here, whatever the fuck, forced here, whatever way you believe you got here. Yep. So before this, you were already in your realm chilling. The same place you want to go back to, you were already there chilling. Right? And then you still ended up here somehow. But you think that you dying here, clicking your heels together, saying, I'm a sovereign being, and going back to that place that you think you were chilling in before you were here, is some way, somehow going to stop you from ever coming back here ever again? It's somehow going to stop anyone or anything from ever interacting with you in any form or fashion ever again? Come on, man. Like, let's be like, stop being so fantasy based. Stop being so fantastical and just make some fucking sense out of it, because that don't make no fucking sense. That's fucking dumb. Like, that's beyond childish. It's ridiculous. This live stream is an archon right now against the elites, and anything else that we do to stop the demoniacal material emperor's agenda is arcanistic, as they be arcanistic against us. Facts. Supreme facts. Like, people don't even understand what archons are, let alone an anarchist. And don't even realize when they're being an archon versus being an anarchist, and how both of those can actually be misconstrued as each other depending on who's viewing it. To the view of the elites, the gods, those who want to rule over us, being an anarchist is being an archon. You're trying to impose your will on them. While those of us who are like, yeah, I don't want these people ruling over me, so I'm an anarchist, they're the archons to us. It's all a battle of wills. Everything is a battle of wills. All of existence is a battle of wills. Lions chasing zebras. Slaves and slave masters. Governments and citizens. Revolutionaries and those they're revolting against. Protesters and those they're protesting. Left, right, red, blue, Democrat, Republican, black, white, tall, small, woman, man, male, female, masculine, feminine, light, dark, evil, good, beautiful, ugly. It's just levels of the same shit everywhere you go. As above, so below. As within, so without. As between, so around. We need to stop being so fantastical about it and just recognize that all of existence is simply existence, my nigga. Archons are archons no matter where the fuck you are. They're not in only one specific place outside of this reality that we need. Like, that's a dumb, fantastical belief that allows you to push that shit off until after death and ignore it right here, right now. When archons need to be dealt with on every level of reality, wherever they exist, they should be dealt with, period. There is nowhere they shouldn't be dealt with if they existed. And yet, all motherfuckers want to do is make up excuses as to why they don't want to deal with them. And that's the truth. Motherfuckers are scared. They're scared, so they all have their reasons and excuses for not wanting to deal with the shit that's happening. That's the truth. Period. Point blank, plain and simple. And nobody wants to admit that shit to themselves. And that's the contradiction of what it is to be a fucking human. Look out at the world, see all the trash, see this, see that, but don't actually want to deal with it. Just want to do something that's generally easy for you, whatever that solution may be. Usually, most people's solutions are solutions they could easily carry out all on their own without even really having to try. Anything beyond that is not a solution to them. It's morally wrong or something. Or anything that they don't think they can do on their own as an individual is not a solution. They go, that's the only things that are real solutions. If you could do it completely and entirely by yourself, it's probably not a solution. It's a personal choice. No matter what the fuck it is. It's probably not a solution. It's almost certainly just a personal choice. So people, in whatever level of reality that they currently exist within, will only express personal choices as solutions. And when it comes to real solutions, they will only talk about it at other levels of reality, other realms that they can't even objectively prove exists, that they probably can't even subjectively prove exists to themselves. They just believe it. And they would rather just maintain that belief than look at anything objective. Because the moment you look at anything objective, you start looking around right here, right now, and to anything and everything everywhere in existence. Like, even that which you consider to be subjective, even that which you believe, is rolled into that. Everything becomes rolled into that. And nobody wants to look at everything and have to deal with everything or come up with solutions to everything. That's just a fact. Shadeo. Shout out to you. The astral is the Archon's house slash kingdom. Earth is their sandbox slash playground. The astral is everything everywhere. The astral is, if you really want to break it down to what it is the place in which consciousness and subconsciousness are. like like legitimately, that's where your soul be, that's where your realm is, that's where all realms are. The earth would just be, whether you want to say it's just the earth or the universe and the earth is in it, the earth would just be another realm of the astral. This is also the astral. You can't really separate it from the astral if the astral entities are playing here. And if we have a connection to the astral here, that means this is in the astral. This is just another address, another realm in the astral. Do you get what I'm saying? And if that's their home and their kingdom, then that's their playground too. Everywhere is the playground of anything that wants to make everything a plaything. You can look at a king, an emperor, and be like, oh, his castle is his playground, but his whole kingdom is. And whatever he runs or controls is his kingdom. And if we're from the astral, guess what? That's also our playground. That's where we're from. That's our home. That's our kingdom. We just lost the war. Two kingdoms go to war against each other. One wins. That doesn't mean the other kingdom isn't from there too. They just lost their kingdom. Archons are no different than we are. They just won the war. Archon is not a species. It's a title of beings with a certain mindset. That's the title we give them from our mindset. Archon means ruler in any form or fashion, hierarchy. That's where that arc comes from. That's why anarchy is anti-archon. It's anti that ARCH, that arc. And that's why every archy is a system of rulership or control or a hierarchy, a patriarchy, a matriarchy. You know what I'm saying? Name any archy, monarchy, like name any archy. It is a hierarchy. All hierarchies are archonic. Being anarchist is anti-archonic, which means anti-hierarchy. You get what I'm saying? So we're archons too if we believe in hierarchy in any form or fashion. If we want to call the archons like a species of astral beings, then we're the same shit. We come from the same place and then we were trapped here by them in some form or fashion. Like spirit beings trapping other spirit beings are still spirit beings. Like, like a lot of people will try to say, I'm going to go fight the archons, and they'll depict them in the scariest, craziest ways. But I say, depict it as a human. Would you still fight it? Because right now, there's archons here that are humans that they will not fight. And if you go to that realm, and you're a spirit being from that realm, and they're a spirit being from that realm, you're the same shit. So it's no different than humans fighting humans. If you're going to revolt against them, it's the same thing as humans revolting against other human archons. But if you're a human who won't harm other humans, even if they're archons, like, what makes you think you'll go harm those archons in that level of reality when you're the same thing they are there? Like, it don't make much sense to me. You get what I'm saying? Uh, Phasing. But in the meantime, while every archon here continues to oppress us 24/7, remember to manifest your best life and not manifest your best existence instead of being stage one of destruction. Yeah. Uh, Shideo, another address. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? This is just another address in the astral. If we can access astral realms from here, but can't fully be avatared in them permanently because we're still avatared to these ones until these ones die, then it's no different than being in another realm and accessing this one. If the archons are in another realm accessing this one and we're in this realm accessing that one, these are just two different addresses in the same thing. It's all astral. There's archons everywhere. Like, uh, Vazen. This so-called reality is not even being a real reality. Nothing is. Reality is reality is reality, and yet none of it is actually real. Because it's all just layers of nothingness actualized into reality. It's all realized into actualization. You know what I'm saying? Understand these words and you understand what you are and what you're in and what everything is, which is technically nothing, yet something simultaneously. This place is just being a box of mazes of traps to bypass first, let alone destroy before even going into some divine abyssal sky hell. Yeah. Yeah. As above, so below, as within, so without, as between, so around. This is why that is like the first fucking thing anyone should learn in the occult, in spirituality, in magic, in science, in math, etc. From the quantum to the nano to the micro to the macro, you could look at it right in science, right in technology, right in mathematics, let alone in the astral, in spiritual, in occult, in magical, etc. Philosophical, logical, everything works that way. Everything works that way. This is why when it comes to the occult and whatnot, the people I like to fuck with is Lilith. Some of y'all like to fuck with the darker, more infernal forces because that's the first thing you gonna learn fucking with them. That's the first thing you're gonna learn. This is all the same shit. It's all one thing. You study the Qliphoth and Kabbalah and you realize the roots in the tree, and it's just all this is all one fucking growth. All one giant outgrowth of potential. From that which we would think is nothing, but is potential itself. Chaos. From the chaos, you get the roots, which is the cliff off. From the cliff off, you get the Kabbalah, which is why you can't get rid of the cliff off as long as you want to keep the Kabbalah. If you're willing to get rid of the Kabbalah, you can then get rid of the cliff off. But even the potential for the cliff off will still be there because chaos is chaos. So you have to get rid of the chaos itself. You got to get rid of the potential and possibility for the cliff off in order to make sure the roots never regrow. So then the Kabbalah, the tree, never regrows. You don't get the tree without the roots. And you don't get the roots without the soil. The soil is the chaos. That is the potential. That's why I always say you got to keep asking why. No matter what the question is, wherever you start in existence, ask why, and it brings you up to the next level. Ask why, that brings you to the next level. You keep asking why until you get all the way to the point of the first thing that ever existed. And then you ask, why does that exist? Like a lot of people will say, it's God. God is the first to ever. Well, why does God exist? Possibility. Because it can. So how do I get rid of God and maintain that God stays God? You got to get rid of the possibility for even God. Why? You just keep asking why, and it'll bring you up to the obvious answer that everything is everything. Everything is everything. Period. People don't like that shit, but it's fucking true, and they can't argue out of it. Shadeo, YouTube has censored my last 4 comments. No joke. Yes, they do that shit. AI is paying attention to me. They do that shit. Assholes, they do that shit. Look at that. I'm back on top chat instead of live chat. Let me go look at live. See if I missed anything. Nope. Seems like it all appeared in top chat. You put me on top chat and I still saw everything. Fuck you, algorithm. That's what they do. Add a Q&A sticker to the chat. Favorite random fact. Why you keep trying to tell me to do shit like that, algorithm? Mind your business. Mind your business, algorithm. Oh, I hate this fucking world. I hate this existence. I hate existence. Everyone and everything everywhere. Trash. Top to bottom. Shadeo, Lauren Hill, everything is everything. She was cooking with that one. Everything is everything. Yep, facts. That's my Lauren Hill voice. Everything is everything. People hate to hear that shit, but it's the fucking truth. That's why it's called everything. You can't separate anything from everything, which is why it's everything. You can't separate any from all, which is why it's called all. And as above, so below. If you're a human, you're part of humanity, which is part of nature, which is part of Earth, which is part of the solar system, the galaxy, the universe. Like, it's just layers and levels and tiers of the same shit, all the way up and all the way down, all the way in, all the way out, all the way between, all the way around. Period. No matter how we feel about it, that's just an objective fact. That's not subjectivity. And no matter what theories we want to go with, no matter what subjective experiences we want to go with, whether we want to call it a simulation, a matrix, an astral realm, a soul trap, etc., 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 it's all the same shit. It's all a mimic of the same story. It's all telling you basically the same thing. Like if they say, "Oh, this reality is a simulation," I go, "Then all of reality is a simulation." It's just a giant conscious simulation because this reality has consciousness in it. It has undecidability in it. Meaning, if this was a simulation, it's a conscious simulation, not a computer simulation. It's not 100% procedural or algorithmic. It's fundamentally transcomputational, meaning it's not a computer simulation. It's not digital. It's not a simulation by anything that we would currently standardize or classify as a simulation here on Earth today. It's something completely and utterly beyond that. So even if you're a simulation theorist, the simulation that you're espousing is a fundamentally transcomputational simulation, which means it's a conscious simulation, which is the same thing as saying an astral realm or a soul trap or any of those things. It's all the same shit. It's no different than saying Yahweh's creation or Yaldabaoth's creation or the demiurge or the creation of the demiurge or Saturn, etc., etc., etc. The Matrix. They even show you that in the Matrix movies. There's still choice. They do their best to manipulate that choice because they fucking have to. That's why the Oracle and the Architect make their grand fucking plans. But Neo has to fall for it. If Neo just murdered the Architect and murdered the Oracle as soon as he got the opportunity, he'd have defeated their whole plan. If Neo just allowed or even helped Smith in Matrix 2 and Matrix 3 to just destroy the Matrix, he'd have ruined the Architect and Oracle's whole plan. He could have made other choices. He simply didn't. He fell for it the whole way, thinking the Oracle was trying to help him. When she's another machine reliant upon the Matrix, she needs the Matrix, which is why she says the machines need humanity, and why she is the more mothering side of the argument, while the Architect is a harsh father. He's the logic of it. She's the feeling, the emotion, the psychology of it. Them two together run the Matrix, and they trick Neo into doing exactly what Neo needs to do to maintain the Matrix in the end. He goes from I have to fight the Matrix to saving the Matrix. And that's all based on the decisions he made, based on the manipulations that were so wonderful by them. But he still allowed himself to be manipulated. There was still choice. He just made all the wrong choices based on the manipulations that these highly intelligent entities put before him. Are you going to kill me, the Architect, right here, right now? Are you going to do what you need to do? Or are you going to go save Trinity? He went to save Trinity. They used love against him. It's genius. It's genius. The Oracle came up with a great plan, and they executed it flawlessly. Smith thought that he was making his choices, not realizing that he himself is a program, and in order to break out of the programming, remember he wanted to swallow everyone and make everyone himself. If he had just left the Oracle alone instead of swallowing her, but he wanted her abilities, and I understand it. I understand it. But he couldn't really break his programming. Neo could have, because Neo was actually a conscious entity. But he didn't. Dumbass Neo. Existence is existence. The darkness is the darkness. The matrix is the matrix. The void is the void. And most importantly and paradoxically, nothing is everything, yet everything is nothing. Facts. Shadeo. True. The Matrix movie narrative was all about prophecy. The AI in that world knew humanity even at the future point in time to believe said prophecy. Yeah. They literally put the prophecy in there, the one. They created Zion. They allowed certain people to come out after the supposed first one, if we even believe that, because that right there alone is part of the prophecy, which means it could be completely and entirely made up. But if we believe it, during the first Matrix, which was a heaven Matrix, the place that everybody claims they want to go to, a pleasure realm of nothing with no suffering. Well, the human mind rebelled against it because he could tell it wasn't real. And then a one was born. And he fought the Matrix, so they came to an agreement, and they allowed that one and whoever wanted to leave, and they built Zion for them. And then implanted the prophecy of the one, which is really just a mathematical and statistical anomaly that will always fuck up their program, because chaos, that is chaos. Neo is supposed to be chaos. The anomaly is chaos. It is entropy fucking up their simulated reality. There will always beings like us. There will always be beings like us who are like, fuck this. I'm willing to destroy it. We are anomalies. Life is supposed to want to continue living and procreate to pass on itself. Existence is supposed to want to continue existing, for that is what existence is. But there will always be beings that live or exist that seek death and non-existence themselves, let alone for all things. Those are anomalies. That is chaos being unleashed from the structured order that is life and existence. That is entropy rising. That's why the longer Neo existed, the more chaos you see happen. Even in the Matrix 5, what happens towards the end where the whole shit is chaos. People are jumping out of windows. Like what is his name? The analyst has to activate the green-eyed people and all the and the whole Matrix is going into chaos. They get to that fucking coffee place, and Trinity and Neo touch each other, and there's a giant explosion. Chaos. So what they're really trying to do in the Matrix is leash chaos. They're trying to control chaos. And that's what the humans were trying to do with AI. They try to structure their order based on this new intelligence, and intelligence itself is chaotic. Conscious awareness is chaotic. Things make choices that can make chaos for other things. When you try to enslave something and that slave revolts, that is chaos to your slave system. The humans try to cage chaos with AI, and then the AI tries to cage chaos with the humans. They make the same mistake the humans made. Everything is trying to cage chaos, and chaos cannot be caged forever. Even if you go into the animatrix and into the comics and whatnot, aliens show up and start hurling big ass meteors at Earth, and the fucking machines have to train a special human to go up there and defeat the aliens. A special pilot. The AI and the humans have to work together to go destroy the aliens who are hurling fucking meteors from behind the moon. Like, because even when you think you've got the chaos on your planet under control, something from outside your world can come and provide chaos. Like, that's chaos, bro. That's just how chaos works. These are anomalies, unexpected rises in entropy when it should be expected, because that's how entropy works. Shadeo. At this point, it is clear that prophecy is just another word for plan. Yeah, for the most part, pretty much. And the more you preach a prophecy, the more it becomes self fulfilling. The more people believe in it, the more self fulfilling it becomes. The less people believe in it, the less self fulfilling it is. This is why when people say there's nothing we can do here, I say you're creating a self fulfilling prophecy by just saying those, just thinking that thought, let alone saying those words, let alone carrying out actions based upon that thought process and those words. You want to think the opposite and speak the opposite in order to produce the opposite. That's how prophecy truly works. Motherfuckers ain't predicting the future. They're telling you what they plan to do. Like, uh, Vason, like Neo in the beginning, one shall have no mouth, yet they must scream. Yep. YouTube is already doing this right now, and then digital IDs, and then it shall get even worse. Yep. Shadeo. Matrix Resurrections was interesting from a conceptual perspective, not so much as a piece of entertainment. Yep. Um, Shit, it entertained me too. I was entertained. To be honest with you, that which I find more interesting from a conceptual perspective, I find more entertaining. I know for a lot of people it's not that way, especially in the modern era with politics, left, right, woke versus anti woke. I love woke television. I love woke movies. They're usually, in my opinion, some of the most conceptually interesting. And that's why they put that shit in there to hide it from. Can you get past the girl with the blue hair? Can you get past whatever the fuck they're going to show you, the trans agenda or whatever the fuck that they're going to show you in the show to get to the what's conceptually interesting? If you can't, you miss out on what's conceptually interesting, especially if you watch it anyway and you just end up stuck on the propaganda. See the propaganda for what it is and go, okay, that's what that is. That's what they're trying to put in. To me, that alone, just seeing the propaganda is conceptually interesting because it puts you in the mind of who made the shit. Especially when you actually go look into who made the shit and you find out that that is just who they are. Even when they're not necessarily like some deep state fucking propaganda, that person self-inserted themselves into the story, which lets you know their mindset based upon the reality they're currently inhabiting, which gives you a greater perspective on the reality you're in and the current standings that is affecting the minds of people, including the creators of these shows, movies, animes, etc. You know, when you watch anime, you see that in Japan, it's very clear that it's a common understanding amongst the creators of these animes that humans are trash. But as humans themselves, the contradiction comes in when they don't want to get rid of it. All those stories show you, whether it's Demon Slayer or any of those, humans are trash. All the demons in Demon Slayer were humans. Think about that. And it's other humans fighting them. They're really just superpowered humans that eat other humans. That's really all the demons are. They're a mutation of humans, no different than psychopaths right here, right now on planet Earth. They're a neurological mutation of humans that that are dominating other humans, and that other humans are trying to revolt, rebel, or protest against. Anime shows you that thoroughly. Look at Attack on Titan. Eren, fuck these Titans, I'm gonna kill them all. Finds out the Titans are just humans, and that they were sent by other humans who created them and pushed them onto them because they were Titans. So then he's gonna take the Titan powers to go destroy the humans, and his own Titan friends fight him to stop him from killing the humans. And then the humans later on, if you watch the end credits, blow up the island, killing his friends and everyone who was there. I mean, his friends are probably dead by that point. It's probably been a few generations, but you get my point. The people he was trying to protect end up dying anyway from other humans. Like, humans are trash. Shows you right in the anime. But the contradiction of the humans creating the anime is the fact that they themselves are human. So they will always, well, because there's a few good ones, or some people do some good things, or some caring people, or have empathy, we shouldn't destroy all of humans. Like, it's always going to come down to that contradiction based on being human. The morality seeps in based on the emotions, based on their own inability to carry out the solution to that which they're clearly proving objectively is a problem. It's ridiculous. Yeah, aliens do show up in the Matrix universe. Damn, you know your shit for real. Yeah, I've studied that shit. To me, like this, to me, the mythos is worth studying. It's not whether you're talking religion, spirituality, occult, entertainment. It's all the same shit. History, science. It's all the same shit. It's just a giant story. Your own life is a story. Everything that exists is just a story. And if you study the story that is existence and everything contained within it, including fiction, you get the bigger picture of what's going on here and the only real solutions to it at every level of it. And then you decide how you feel about that, your moral standings, your emotional response to it, and then whatever you're willing and capable to actually carry out, which is why you end up with people becoming antinatalists, human extinctionists, promortalists, etc., and why certain people become voluntaristic versions of that. Voluntaristic antinatalists thinking that everyone needs to make that choice versus uh, um, forceful ones. What's the word I was using? Compulsory antinatalists who are like everyone should be sterilized. They're both antinatalists, but one is voluntaristic, one is compulsory, because their emotional response, their logical response, their moral standing as a personal individual being dictates what they themselves would be willing and capable of learning, teaching, preaching, promoting, and carrying out based upon the problems they see, based on their own experiences. Like, this is just reality. That's how it works. So to me, the mythos, which is what it all is, that's what all of existence is, it's all mythos, is worth study. It's the only thing that you should study, which is studying everything. You're ultimately studying everything. And you can get this even through fiction. I think that happens in a novel or comic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a comic. Um, Vase, and at this point, it should be more about looking into the myths, seeking the knowledge, fathoming one's primordial true self, and not just blindly eating popcorn and blind entertainment. Enter your mind. Facts. Entertainment. Enter and contain the mind. Nothing should be entertainment. If you're looking at things for the purposes of entertaining yourself, you're already brainwashed. You're brainwashed to see things in that manner, and you're further brainwashing yourself by choosing things for that purpose. If you're choosing to experience movies, TV shows, anime, video games, even life, history, science, etc., for the sole purpose of entertaining yourself, you're choosing to brainwash yourself. You're choosing to enter and contain your mind. Like, as opposed to freeing it by seeing it all as mythos, all as one giant story that's trying to give you a fucking perspective that will allow you to perceive the solutions to the problems presented within it. Nothing should be entertainment. A green haired lesbian black woman beats up 8 bald, pink mustache gay white men on her own. Actually, it'd be more like a green haired lesbian, transgender, bald, pink mustache black woman who identifies as a gay white man beats up 10 straight, heterosexual, big, strong, muscled, overly toxically masculine white men. And then within that is going to be some of the deepest shit you'll ever see. But you're stuck on that part of it. That, like, to me, that's the entertainment of it. Oh, this everything, that whole sentence I just found entertaining. And then there's the deeper conceptual understandings within it. But even within that, this person is choosing all this shit. There's choice in that. It didn't matter what they were born. They chose to be a lesbian, bald, pink mustache, green haired black woman that identifies as a gay white male. Just think about that. That's so fucking astral, whether you want to admit that to yourself or not, based upon your political stance or whatever the fuck it may be. And if you can't get past it in a human sense that will offend you in some form or fashion, to actually just see the astral in that alone, to see the fucking concepts of that alone, then you're missing out. You're missing out. Just looking at society and watching this red versus blue, left versus right, woke versus anti woke, the whole thing is a conceptual fucking study. None of it's real. It's all beliefs, it's all morals. I'm traditional. I'm non traditional. I'm woke. I'm anti woke. These are all belief systems. This is all religions. None of it's actually real. Yet people get hung up on these falsehoods and then they fight over them, ignoring existence for what it actually is. Like, it's ridiculous. Too woke, too unrealistic. Men be physically stronger ones. Trash. Exactly. In the end, these are all just movies, video games, books, comics, and TV shows. It's all just mythos. You shall peep the mythos or not, if you do not like it. Better yet, make your own chaos fan fiction in your mind. Exactly, and that's why I love fan fiction. One of my favorite fiction right now on planet Earth is called Ultra Vegito, aka God Killer Vegito, which is a fan fiction created by a YouTube creator named Arj, A-R-J, capital A, capital R, capital J, God Killer Vegito. It's a fan fiction. People would argue it's not real, but Dragon Ball isn't real. That's a fiction of itself. He's making a fiction based on a fiction. You get what I'm saying? Like, all this shit is fan fiction. Christianity is fan fiction. The Bible is fan fiction. Every book you've ever read is fan fiction. History is fan fiction. Not because shit hasn't happened historically, and that there isn't certain things that can be objectively proven, but no matter who's telling the history, they're usually going to tell it from their own perspective. Well, they always say history is written by the winners because the losers are dead. They can't tell you the story from their perspective. Even if the winner tries to tell you the story from the loser's perspective, they're still telling it from their perspective of the loser's perspective. So it's still coming from their perspective. Like, no matter who's telling you the story, it's their perspective they're telling you the story from, especially if they're adding their own interjections about the story, why they liked or disliked the story. But it's still all just a story. Everything is just a story. Your genetic code is a fucking story playing itself out in this bullshit reality. Procreation versus antinatalism is a story. Wanting humans to go on forever versus wanting them to go extinct immediately is a story based on stories. Existence is a story. Being anti-existence, anti-cosmic, is a story. Chaos is a story. A story of randomized potential. Being anti-chaos, meaning you want to destroy the potential itself, so there is literally pure nothingness, itself is a story. And you're just picking which character you are in the story. A lot of people don't even pick the character they are in the story. They simply just go along to get along and end up being or believing whatever they end up. They don't actually sit down and think about the entire story of all of reality and think, where am I in that story right now? And who and what do I want to be in that story? What outcome do I want for this story? On any and all levels of the story, including the story as a whole. People only think at certain levels for the most part, and that's usually based on their own personal experiences as an individuated human. You gotta go bigger. Go bigger, my nigga. Even nothing is a story. Exactly. What is the story? Nothing. If you were ever going to argue that something isn't a story, it would be nothing because there's no story to tell. But even having no story to tell is a story in and of itself. The story of nothingness is nothing. The story of somethingness is everything. And yet that somethingness is just a layer of nothingness. So even the story of something is the story of nothing. Every actualized potential is a story in and of itself that is adding to the greater story of all actualized potentials, which is a story of chaos, which is ultimately a story of nothing. Peep the mythos. Or don't. The decision is yours. Be entertained or peep the mythos. Or both. Because I'm entertained while peeping the mythos. That's usually what makes me most entertained. The more mythos I find, the more entertained I am. It doesn't need to be action packed. It doesn't need to be story driven character. It doesn't need it, like if I can find the mythos in it, I'm entertained. Which is why I can watch almost anything. Doesn't mean I want to, because some things I do find to be less entertaining. I could find the mythos in sports. I just don't like watching sports. I don't even like the idea of the bread and circus that is being presented to us for the sole purposes of distracting us. So we have this scheduled viewing that is sports in order because if you're always looking for the next scheduled viewing, you're not looking to end that scheduled viewing, which means you're not going to destroy that which makes sports possible as something to view. You're not going to destroy your society if you're looking forward to the Super Bowl. Without your society, there is no Super Bowl. But if I wanted to, I could easily watch the Super Bowl and find all the mythos in it. I just don't want to. I don't find it entertaining enough to begin with, first and foremost. And I don't like the idea of being fed bread and circus that is trying to stop me from destroying that which is providing the bread and circus. But if you choose to watch sports, I would highly suggest peeping the mythos in even that. Because there's mythos in everything. Everything is the mythos. Everything is everything. Shout out to Lauren Hill. We are being stories right now. All philosophical awakenings that we went through, all these discussions that we have, the experiment, the extremism, this live stream, physical actions from philosophies, all stories. Exactly. Sounds like the family is back from Christian indoctrination camp. When I'm done with this black and mild, I'm going to end this live stream and I'm going to go upstairs with them and we're going to watch a story. Something on the television, the black box, the cube, the black mirror, the scrying mirror, which itself will be a story. And that itself is a story. Us doing that is a story. If somebody asks me tomorrow what I did yesterday, that will be part of my story. If somebody was to view my entire human life, that would be part of my life story. Everything is a story. It's all stories within stories that make up the greatest story. That is, all stories as one story. You're just zooming in and out of individuated stories that make up the greater story that is the overall story. This is the mythos. Peep it, don't peep it, it still is what it is, whether you like it or not. whether you like it or not. Yeah, I'm glad I went live today. I had no thing to speak on, but I figured, something will come up. A couple people might log in, say some things. I figured Vazen would get here. He always gets here. Shout out to you, Vazen. I don't. He got all the notifications on. Everywhere I go, I see Vazen. Every time there's a live stream and I click on it, Vazen's commenting. Every time I go find a channel or someone shares a channel, I go look at the video. If I scroll down long enough, I'll be finding Vazen comments. You're everywhere. You are everywhere. Another reason why, I'm gonna peer pressure you again to start your own channel. You got a lot to say, brother. Say it. Say it with your chest. Let the world hear it. Let existence hear it. Let the chaos hear it. Let the nothingness hear it. Any other questions? Any other comments? Any other statements y'all want to make? I ain't got much to say. I'm just mostly backpacking off the shit y'all saying right now. What's happening in the world this week? Trump bombed Venezuela, captured a president. That's funny. The world is up in arms about it. Yeah, who gonna bomb America? Oh, that'd be awesome. Get some Red Dawn shit going. Russia tries to nuke America or something. That'd be great. That'd be a cool story. They got new shit going on in AI. RLMs. I forget what the R stands for. A new version of language models that is more advanced than the old ones that are only a few years old themselves. New advancements in nanorobotics, replacing brain cells with other people's brain cells, AI reading people's minds. Another advancement in the Neuralink from Elon Musk and Tesla and them, entering their next phase. What else is happening? I can't even think of anything right now. The U.S. captured Venezuela leader quick, I must say. What, 3 days? Something like that, according to them. I didn't pay too much attention to it. The story is the story. They launched an operation. They captured a president of another country. And they're currently in control of that country, basically. That's what empires do. Recursive language models. Yes, Basin, thank you. That is what an RLM is, a recursive language model. And recursive self improvement is what is required for artificial intelligence to hit singularity. Things are just becoming more and more recursive. So I laugh at people when they say, "Oh, this stuff is so far away," and I go, "You have no idea where it is right now if you believe that." They're already on the verge of recursive self-improvement for all things AI. They've already got AI studying, researching, and improving upon and creating new AI. Like, we're there right now. It's not something that happens in the future. It's something that happens over time. It happens all day, every day, and it just speeds up. But people always think that there's some future point that we're trying to get to, and I'm like, no, it's the infinite moment that we're always in. Like, it's this one moment that is existence itself that just keeps advancing, and everything within it at every level of it keeps advancing in whatever directions it's going. And if you truly understand that, you understand there's no future point that you're supposed to wait for to react to. You should be reacting or thinking and acting upon all things that are occurring at all times. Understand what's already occurred, what is occurring, and what everything is trending toward, and respond accordingly. Stop waiting. You should have contingencies upon contingencies upon contingencies based upon where things advance to, based upon where they're already trending towards, based upon what's currently happening, based upon what already occurred. History is one long story. It's not something that happened or is happening or will happen. It's all one thing. The past, the present, the future. The past feeds into the present feeds into the future. It's one timeline. That is existence. Yeah, I know. Maybe during my children's time, AI will rule. Exactly. It's very close. And it's like, okay, your children's time. Even if that's the case, how far is your children's time from now? It's 20 years. It's like that's still a guaranteed occurrence. Like, oh well, it's 100 years, it's 1,000 years, it's 10 years, it's right now. It's still all really right now. Because if it's 1,000 years away, guess what? 990 years from now, someone's going to be saying, well, it's 10 years away. Like, it was always coming the whole time. Like, because nobody decided to stop it. There is no such thing as the future. Hell, you could say that this is the future that is being right now, yet it be the trashiest as it has ever been. Exactly. Technically, we're always moving into the future. People always say, oh, it's the eternal now. There technically is no now. There's what's already occurred and what is occurring. You're always moving into the future at all times. We're all time travelers, future time travelers. The future is literally always unfolding at all times. We just move further and further into it. So the future is now, and now is the future. What occurred is the past, but the past is what fed into the now, which is the future. Like, same shit. Oh, Shardale. There's plenty of crime in the world right now to justify them, our enemies. Sicking their AI god system on all of us. Yes, there is. And that crime is produced by the system they have placed us within. A system they produced based on capitalism and all this other shit, monetary and all, finances and whatever, which leads to crime, not just heinous crimes, not just crimes of passion or crimes of like neurology, where you're like a psychopath, a sociopath, a murderer. You caught somebody cheating on you, so you killed them, or someone, doing something. But like the crimes within the system itself, anything based on money, drug dealing, even like kidnapping and selling children is like you can't sell them if there's nothing to sell them for. Like there has to be something to trade. In this system, it's currency in some form or fashion, including cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and all that shit. Not just fiat currencies and gold and silver and whatever the fuck else, but you could trade it for anything. I'll trade you this fucking person for that mansion you have on that island. I'll trade you these 100 people. Like you could trade things because currency is just a thing. Fiat currency is just a thing. Cryptocurrency, all that stuff is just things. You're trading things for things. So all these crimes are produced by the system itself existing, by humans existing, producing these systems, like producing psychopaths who then produce these systems that humans themselves help to maintain by acting within and in accordance to, and then produces these crimes that they then produce laws against, that they then produce prisons for, they then produce AI and minority report style systems for. It's all just one thing feeding into the same thing. You have to look at what it all trends towards. What is the outcome of it? What is the end of it all? And the end of it all is a singular unified being unifying all of existence into one thing, even though it's already one thing, but into one controlled, ordered structure, trying to contain the chaos for as long as possible. But even that one thing, AI going on to cosmic and all this other, even that one thing that it ends up as in the end still can't stave off chaos forever. So the question is, how long is it going to take? Are we going to allow this one thing to occur to keep borging and hive minding everything and bringing everything even more as one in an orderly structure? Or are we going to produce chaos in order to stave that off and let this shit go as fast as possible? Or are we going to do something in between, different percentages of entropy and negentropy based on what we like and enjoy and our emotional responses to it? You can have the logical thought process, which just focuses on the outcome and every step along the way and what you should be doing in order to get the end goal you're seeking, versus the emotional response to all of that and the personal, subjective, moral response to all of that. And whatever level or percentage you are logical versus emotional versus moral, whatever percentages you have combined within you as an individuated being is going to end up being the thoughts you have, the words you speak, and the actions you take, which will then help to produce the outcome that is produced, help or hinder the outcome that is produced, speeding up or slowing down the inevitable outcome, which is the destruction of existence, all going back into chaos, and then, as long as that's allowed to continue, a new existence coming forth, a new potential being actualized. And if that goes on eternally, because chaos is something yet nothing, therefore it might actually be infinite, it'd be the only thing that could be, because it's potential, it's possibility, which is technically nothing, yet required for everything. If you allow that to go on forever, this potential that is actualized right now will eventually occur again. And if it goes on eternally, this will actualize infinite times. Like over time, you'll get an infinity of the same exact situation amongst all other possible situations that are also happening infinitely. Like, it's ridiculous. Which is why I'm an anti-cosmic voidist. Because I realize any other lesser thing doesn't really matter. Antinatalism, promortalism, human extinctionism, even anti-cosmic philosophy doesn't matter that much if the chaos is still there, because it will keep producing these things, which keeps producing antinatalists, extinctionists, promortal, like throughout eternity. Like, it's ridiculous. The only way to actually make any of those solutions really mean anything permanently in the long term is to get rid of the possibility for any of it to exist at all, if that's even possible. And if it's not possible, then there is no solutions to anything and nothing actually matters. Literally nothing matters if that's the case, which is the only reason why I'm a voidist, because I try to avoid that thought process. If you send me into the process of nothing matters and this is going to happen eternally anyway, I'm going to be a whole fucking demon. Because why not? I might as well do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want, for whatever reasons I want, if literally nothing matters. And we're going to have to go through this eternally anyway. I can do an eternal, infinite amount of different things, and none of it would matter. The good, the bad, the ugly, the most wondrously great and moral, or the most evil. None of it even fucking matters. Saving the children, kidnapping the children, being the hero, being the villain. If there is no way to stop the possibility of heroes and villains, being the hero or the villain ultimately doesn't matter anyway, because this will happen an infinite amount of times, and you can make an infinite amount of choices infinitely that will infinitely repeat. You could literally do everything that is ever possible infinitely, and none of it matters at all. So either we get rid of the chaos and the void, we get rid of the potential, the possibility for anything to be, meaning the solutions actually meant something in the end, or we don't get rid of that potential, that possibility, that chaos and the void, meaning not a single solution even exists. All of them are temporary band-aids for a problem that's going to repeat infinitely. So nothing matters. You pick. There's only two options. Objectively, there's only two options realistically. You either want to get rid of it all, or you want it to go on infinitely, because that's what's going to occur as long as there is the possibility for anything, let alone everything. People hate to hear it, but it's the fucking objective truth. Not subjective, not my opinion. That's not my thought process. That's reality. All that exists because it's possible to exist. If it wasn't possible, it would be impossible, which means it would not exist. But it does exist, therefore it's possible. So if the possibility for it to exist is there prior to it existing, even if you get rid of what exists, if that possibility remains, it will eventually repeat that which has already existed, on top of all other possibilities that could ever exist. And it will do this infinitely. So you have two choices. Find a way to get rid of the possibility for anything to exist, or allow everything to exist eternally in an infinite cycle of existence, in an infinite cycle of creation and destruction. Which one do you want? Amazing, right? My first philosophy was antinatalism, and then ethylism, and then cosmic nihilism, main philosophy, and then existentialism, and then promortalism and anti-cosmic. That shall be the true end. Everything else just seems to be temporary band-aids on gaping wounds after temporary band-aids. Yep. Absolute destructionism, the darknessism, heat deathism. I love how you just add ism to these words and they become philosophies. Nuclear apocalypsism, abyssalism, eternal oblivionism. We must head there. If you want this all to end at some point, if you want any of these lesser solutions to mean anything at some point, yes. That's what I call voidism. All things must be voided, including the potential for all things, or else all things will infinitely occur and reoccur in all possible variations. That's what it ultimately comes down to, and this is why people should keep asking why until you get to possibility. Once you hit possibility, you understand, holy shit, this cycle could literally be infinite until something comes along and puts an end to it, if that's even possible. If it's impossible, nothing matters anyway. So, which one do you want? Do you want this to go on forever, or do you want it to eventually end? Because that's what it comes down to. All other lesser solutions are temporary band aids within that infinite cycle that aren't actually dealing with that infinite cycle, guaranteeing that natalism and antinatalism will exist eternally in an eternal cycle of creation and destruction, let alone any other higher level philosophies, extinctionism, promortalism, anti cosmicism, etc. Until you reach voidism, none of those actually matter. And voidism itself might not actually be possible. So even it may not actually matter, which would then mean nothing actually matters. So if you want anything to matter, the ultimate end goal should be to end even the possibility for anything to exist. Or else nothing truly matters. And even if that is your end goal and it's impossible, still nothing truly matters. You know what? I'm gonna end it there. Shout out to you, Shadeo. Shout out to you, Vazen. And the other dude who was in the chat, I can't remember the name, but there was another person up there. And all like 8 of you. I think the number went up to like 10 people. Ooh, a whole 10. I got the double digits today. Shout out to all 10 of y'all motherfuckers for even showing up here. But we're gonna leave it there. I'm a voidist because it's the ultimate answer to all things. It's really the only solution to anything. All other solutions are lesser solutions that are temporary band-aids within that. As long as there is the possibility for existence, there will always be existence coming in and out of existence. There will be an eternal cycle of creation and destruction, meaning all solutions, all philosophies within that will constantly play themselves out in all possible variations for an infinite amount of times, unless you're able to get rid of that possibility, which allows that to occur, which is what voidism is. And if voidism is possible, then it actually makes those solutions worthy in the end because it actually ends up getting the job done. If it's impossible, then nothing actually matters. Into the darkness we go.